Something is drastically wrong. Our HOA sold us out.
When Kathy and Rick Bayless bought their dream home, they knew it wasn't considered a golf course lot, but it was the next best thing. A great view from the second floor of the 13th green on the Pecan course in the Sweetwater Country Club.
And it was a tremendous view, especially with the sunsets, because it's a western view. And you can kind of follow where that sun sets by the seasons, literally.
The next door neighbor's house on Asbury Park, closest to the course, it was already built. So Kathy knew she was guaranteed that picturesque view from her second floor window as long as she lived here. And these folks have lived in the very same house for 34 years.
It's an alcove on our second floor where I did all my paperwork, my desk, wrote my Christmas cards. I mean, it was my place I went daily to do whatever, write the grocery list, whatever.
Why would they worry? Travis Park is one of the neighborhoods in one of the biggest master plan communities in all of Fort Bend County, First Colony.
Tree-lined streets, boulevards, and entrances with the lamppost in First Colony's neighborhoods and businesses alike add to that sense of unity.
But before you think about moving there, you might want to hear what the folks who run that neighborhood have now done to the Bayless family.
This HOA has destroyed our trust with them.
If you live in one of First Colony's 98 neighborhoods, you can't even change the paint color of your house without getting HOA approval. They get to tell you what color bricks are acceptable. It's up to them to maintain the architectural design integrity of the neighborhoods. They even brag about it.
The First Colony Community Services Association has been focal in guiding, managing, and maintaining the natural beauty and architectural design integrity of the neighborhoods in First Colony.
So how did this happen? That view the Bayless family loved so much for more than 3 decades? Look, it's gone.
We bought our house with that view. We did not give permission to anyone to take it away from us.
I don't think there's any factual dispute that what they did completely destroyed the view of their neighbors, which is
well, what view?
What do you mean? It doesn't matter.
Have you
Whatever.
been to the house?
That's Jack Mulho, the executive director of the First Colony Association.
Did they have a golf course lot to begin with?
What does that have to do with it? If you let somebody who has a one-story place make it a two-story place, doesn't it change views?
Absolutely.
He likes to say that it was only a window, but it was my window.
First Colony's HOA is letting this be built right next door, a 1,143 square foot addition on top of the garage, raising the elevation, completely blocking the Bayless once beloved view of the golf course. It's so big, the Bayless say even golfers are driving by just to take a look at it.
The first things they say is, I can't believe how big this thing is. And before they can ever take another breath, they go, how did our HOA approve this thing?
So what happened to that rigorous architectural review process First Colony brags about?
The architectural review process, it's rigorous and sometimes people don't like it. But drive through your communities and look how they look compared to communities that don't have that kind of rigorous control.
The Bayless says that review process was anything but rigorous when this was given the okay right next door to their home. And most shocking of all, the Bayless family wasn't given the courtesy of a phone call to even warn them, to ask them if they objected.
There's just really no rational way you could square the fact that the HOA, First Colony Community Association, should have given us notice and preferentially asked for our approval for this project. It's just outrageous that we weren't even notified.
After 34 years of paying HOA dues, we think the Bayless family has every right to be furious. They should have been given a vote before this was allowed. Instead, they were kept in the dark for 6 months.
So you don't think they have a legitimate right to say, what the hell?
Oh, I think anybody has the right to say what the hell. Come on.
But are you telling me you wouldn't be complaining loud from the rooftop if somebody did that next door to you?
I don't know. I don't know if I would or not.
It was about halfway through June of 2021, and an empty commercial dumpster showed up and right next door to us.
It wasn't until the first framing on the second floor, which now is a studio apartment, when we realized, oh my goodness, this is really going to be a big project
That very same day, the Bayless family went to the HOA board to appeal. They were given 3 minutes to state their case. The board thanked them and said they would consider it. But on October 6th, the Bayless got this in their email. Their protest denied.
Our hands are tied if the criteria that are in place today, if they tick off all the boxes, our hands are tied, because then, it's kind of like who we're going to get sued by, A or B.
Then we start hearing about smaller projects requiring approval in an adjacent neighborhood, and it just doesn't seem to add up.
The lesson this family has learned the hard way should be a warning to all Houston neighborhoods. Do your neighborhood governing documents guarantee you a right to try and block a big remodeling job before it begins? Turns out First Colony doesn't treat all their residents the same.
Depending on the neighborhood, because each neighborhood, there's over 80 sections, and each one, almost every section, there's master guidelines, and then there's also supplementals. So it gets down to even what color roof, what color brick.
So next time you hear this First Colony commercial, you know better.
The FCCA also directs the consistent enforcement of deed restrictions, all of which help enhance First Colony's property values.
I have no doubt that it will impact our home property. We'll never know if we could have gotten a fair price for it, or possibly even more, because that decision was taken away from us.
It's too late for the Bayless family to stop what's going on next door.
This project is going to finish, but what we want to do is to inform people and not let this happen to anybody else in First Colony. This could be you the next time. We're poster children of what happens when you're not diligent of what's going on with your HOA.
It's not a baseless warning. The company doing the renovations next door to the Bayless family claims several other folks in the neighborhood are now looking to build too.
This can happen to you. I mean, you could have 10 builders' trucks parked in your neighbor's yard.
And you won't be able to stop it, which means what you buy today in First Colony could look very different tomorrow.
Shame on them all. That's how I feel about it. Shame on them. Shame on First Colony. Shame on the board.